Hi, welcome to the Whitey White Guy Show. I'm Whitey, this is Cracker, and today we're going to review the film Army of Darkness, which came out in
93.
and is directed by,
Sam Raimi,
starring,
Bruce Campbell, M. Beth Davids. Bill Moseley has a little bit of a cameo. Ted Raimi plays 4 people.
okay,
And that's it that I know off the top of my head.
Bruce Campbell, basically.
Bruce Campbell.
Bruce Campbell.
I love fucking Bruce Campbell. I got action figures.
Oh, no, get back up there.
I got action figures of Ash, from the Army of Darkness, Evil Dead films. I got both of his fucking books, and I know he's got a third one coming out. This is his autobiography called If Chins Could Kill. He that's how he is. He just doesn't give a fuck.
No.
Which is his autobiography, and then he actually wrote a book called Make Love the Bruce Campbell Way, which is all about him trying to get a job in the newest Renee Zellweger film.
The whole book?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's actually quite funny. Bruce Campbell, he's childhood friends of Sam Raimi.
Yeah.
Sam Raimi's now a big time director with the Spider-Man films and this and that. And Army of Darkness is the third film in the Evil Dead trilogy.
Yeah. Evil Dead.
Evil Dead was the plot of Evil Dead is Bruce Campbell and his friends go to a cabin in the woods. They read from a book Book of the Dead called the Necronomicon. They release an evil spirit. It possesses his friends. He has to kill them to survive the night. By the time Army of Darkness, a whole bunch of shit happens in part 2, which I won't get into, but eventually he uses his hand, his hand gets possessed. He has to cut it off. He replaces it with a chainsaw.
Yeah, sure.
And at the end of that one, which is the beginning of part 3, Army of Darkness, he's sucked back into medieval times. While he's in medieval times, he is...
So then part 3 takes over, he's in medieval times.
He's in medieval times, he's working with a knight named Arthur. We don't necessarily know if he's King Arthur or not. It's
Not
implied.
Fuck.
Yeah, it's implied, but they're fighting a group of other soldiers led by Henry the Red, and then Bruce Campbell wants to get sent back home. The wise man, because he's a wise man because he's got a long fuck you beard down to here.
That's how it works.
Yeah. Sends him to go get the Necronomicon. He's got to speak 3 words a certain way. Of course, being Ash, he says the words wrong. Releases the Deadites, which are a bunch of zombie creatures that are trying to take over Arthur's world.
Skeletons, like walking skeletons.
And the rest of the movie is him training Arthur's men to fight the Deadites.
And then they fight
the Deadites, and then Bruce Campbell gets sent home.
On a budget of like
$20.
It looks like there's not a whole lot of this that looks good, but when it gets to that point, it's like little stick figures, like cut in with dudes in skeleton suits. But it looks like, seriously, it looks like something a bunch of guys.
The stop motion is done really well.
Well, it looks like something like a high school project.
Well, that's how. I don't think you've never seen Evil Dead or Evil Dead 2, have you?
I've seen Evil Dead.
Okay. Well, Army of Darkness had a budget of $20.
Yeah.
The first 2 films had a budget of $5 and $10.
Yeah.
But they use what got them to the dance. They still use a paper-thin budget. The stop motion is really well done. They have camera tricks where you only see the skeletons from above here, and they're like riding horses, and you just see their legs move, so they're on like a pulley system, superimposed with people in suits. But if you haven't seen the first 2 films and you go straight into Army of Darkness, you're going to be confused as fuck.
Yeah.
Even though they recap the first 2 films before this, because this is how I was introduced to the Evil Dead films. I saw Army of Darkness first, didn't even know about the first 2 films. I didn't know who the hell Ash was, why the fuck he's so pissed off, because in this film he's an asshole. But if you watch the other 2 films, you understand everything he's been through.
Yeah.
Because he's a super likable character in the first film and the second film. But by the third one, he's a fucking asshole because of everything he's been through. But he's also likable here. He's funny. This film is very quotable.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone said, he works. He's dealing with a bunch of people from the Middle Ages, and he's got a shotgun.
Yeah, and he's from the early '90s, late '80s, early '90s. Early '90s. So
well, this came out in the early '90s, but timeline wise, it's still like the '70s.
Oh, okay.
But for him, because it's all in the span of like a week.
He's got a shotgun, which he calls his boomstick. Mm-hmm. He's got the chainsaw.
Yeah, he calls all the medieval times people primates and stuff like that. So he's a likable asshole.
Yeah, sarcastic, witty. There's a romance.
Him and M. Beth Davis, they have like a one-night stand thing. So of course, like in medieval times, she falls in love with him because he banged her once. She gets kidnapped by Evil Ash, which we'll discuss. Eventually, she gets possessed by the Deadites, and he also has to try to save her. Evil Ash, what I mean by that is when you went to go get the Necronomicon, and he said the wrong words.
Yeah. He was supposed to memorize it. And they're like, make sure you say it word for word. And then he's like, humana, humana, humana. And he's like, yeah, like that. Yeah, which I do all the time.
Yeah, he says, the wise man says you got to say, Klaatu Barata Nikto. And Bruce Campbell says it. He says, okay, say it again. Klaatu Barata Nikto. He's like, I got it. I got it. So when he finally gets to the book, he says, Klaatu Barata Necktie. Nectarine. Or something like that. Yeah. And then he goes, Klaatu Barata takes the book, and then that's where all the Deadites come.
Yeah.
And what happened was, what I mean is, Evil Ash, what happens with Evil Ash is before he gets to the book, he's being chased by the Evil Dead. Whatever, a Deadite. And he gets possessed by it because a bunch of these like little miniature ashes are born. And one of them goes inside him, and he morphs out, like he turns into like this conjoined twin, and it's a really fucked up film. He gets separated by this, conjoined twin. So there's him, and then there's Evil Ash. He kills the Evil Ash, buries him, and then when he says the wrong words, Evil Ash comes back to life, and he becomes the leader of the Deadites.
That's not complicated at all.
I was gonna say, you getting all this?
Yeah.
So after all that shit.
Both people watching this haven't seen it before, going, okay, Evil Ash went to Doppelganger, gotcha, okay.
What did you think of Army of Darkness?
It was stupid as fuck. It was stupid as fuck. There's the bit where he's fighting all the different skeletons. Really not fighting him, he's getting his ass kicked by him. And then like one hits him here, and it's just like a $10 skeleton hand. And then another one hits him here, and he goes, "Oh!" And then like 10 of them hit him from all directions.
That's my favorite part.
It's everybody's favorite part in the movie. Everybody was seen it,
and it's not just that. It's like they're poking him in the eye. And he's doing the Three Stooges block,
right? So, but it was like seriously, high school kids at home could have made that.
You think
that in turn, he's Bruce Campbell by this point. He's a big name.
Okay.
It still has its charm because here's this big leading man who's willing to go work on this cheap-ass budget.
You think this is stupid as shit, but you give it a pass because it's Bruce fucking Campbell.
It's got a charm to it.
It's got a charm to it. You enjoy A Million Ways to Die in the West with Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah.
Over this.
Oh.
He's got to think about it. You're an asshole. That is one of the... So, is the reason why you didn't like this because there was, like, no pooping in a hat?
No, it's hard to say I didn't like it because, again, it's one of those things where I saw it back in the day. Mm-hmm. And now, as a kid, I enjoyed it a lot more. Like, someone's like 12, 13, 14. But as a grown man, and of course, having seen it, it's kind of like, oh, right. But it's like it just... Yeah, it was done. It was a better movie.
The fucking prick. It's a fun film. It's a total 180 from the other two films. The first one is a serious horror film. Yeah. Second one, we get some comedy.
Really? No, I mean...
Oh, no, seriously, yeah. There's no comedy in it, really.
Which one is the one where the lady's eyeball pops out and somebody eats it?
That's the second one.
Unintentionally.
Yeah. The first one is the one where the chick gets raped by a tree.
Yes, the tree rape.
Yeah. I'm not discussing that scene in here. And then by the third film, it's just balls to the wall comedy.
Okay, yeah. And that's, they all have a light feel to them. Mm-hmm. But the third one is where it goes like full silly.
It's like Gremlins and Gremlins 2. Gremlins, serious for the most part. Serious.
But,
scary horror film. Gremlins 2, batshit crazy Looney Tunes movie.
Yes.
That's what this is. This is like Gremlins 2 compared to the other films.
Horror film comedy elements, and then there's just plain comedy.
Mm-hmm.
So the first two are horror films with comedy elements. You don't take it too seriously.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little more fun, but it's still a dark side to it. This one's pure comedy, just goofy, fucking, just
Looney Tunes.
Looney Tunes.
But I think a lot of people like it because, like I said, it's so quotable as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is my boomstick.
Yes.
When Bruce Campbell first goes to the medieval times, he's a slave because they don't know where he's from and this and that. They think he's part of Henry the Red's men.
Right.
So the chick, Beth Davis, she punches him because she thinks he's part of Henry's men, and Henry's men killed her brother. But then after he's chosen to receive the Necronomicon, she feels for him and she wants him to be careful. But he still hates her at this point. She's like, first you want to kill me, now you want to kiss me. Blow. So that's a quotable line.
I've told a few chicks that.
Yeah. It's just a fun movie. A lot more fun than A Million Ways to Die in the West. He's, like I said, he's the bumbling idiot that everyone likes, who ends up saving the day.
Yeah, and again, there's the bit where they lower him down into kind of a pit. And it's just fun.
He fights the bog beast.
Some guys some old dude finds his chainsaw and he's like, what did he call him?
He calls him Strange One.
It's like Strange One, and then he jumps up.
Yeah, he literally jumps up like Superman, and then you see the chainsaw fall, and like he's got a stump on his hand.
Yeah,
because he lost it in the second one, and he fixed the chainsaw where he can put the stump in it, and he literally, like Superman, jumps up into the air, and you see the chainsaw go.
Yeah, that.
And it's fun.
So he's got the chainsaw. He's got a shotgun.
Yeah, he's got like a little thing on he's got a strap here that helps him, go like this, and it cocks the chainsaw to turn it on, and it's campy fun.
Yes.
If you're a fan of say Batman 1966, that type of camp, but without like the LSD.
Sometimes you just can't get rid of a bomb.
Yeah, but like without the LSD that needed to enjoy that film, you'll like this. It's fun, campy, Bruce Campbell goodness.
Yeah.
And Bruce Campbell is now popping up everywhere. I mean, he was on Burn Notice
I was going to mention
the entire series. I guess he did really well on that.
He did.
And if there's ever a Sam Raimi film, he's in that.
Briscoe County Jr.
Jack of all trades. He's in Darkman for like 2 seconds. He's in all 3 of the Sam Raimi Spider-Man films. If it's a Sam Raimi film, Bruce Campbell's in it because they're, like I said, they're buddies from like college. It's like Trey Parker and Matt Stone. They tend to throw Dean Bahar in there every now and then. So because of Sam Raimi, Bruce Campbell had a career, but now he's branching out without the help of Sam and becoming this horror icon. I mean, now he's got a TV show called Ash versus the Evil Dead that's on like Stars or something, and it's just finished its 2nd season, and it's already signed for a 3rd, and it's just blowing everything away in the ratings.
Nice.
So,
Bruce Campbell, stay away from sharp objects and helicopters.
Yeah.
It's his turn, man. Mm-hmm. Like, anybody who's good is like getting killed, and anybody who's shit lives forever.
Mm-hmm. I'll be sad if Bruce Campbell dies.
Oh man, that would fuck.
But yeah, Army of Darkness, campy fun. You hate it.
Powers Boot died. That broke my dick, man. That killed my boner hard.
I recommend Army of Darkness, but I also recommend you see the first 2 films first. Yes. Then go into this because you might be confused as fuck.
Yeah, I would.
He would rather watch a Seth MacFarlane movie. Pooping in a hat.
Pooping in a hat.
Hates you.
Good journey. Oh, well, thank you all for watching. I'm Whitey. This is Cracker. This is the Whitey White Guy Show. Please like, subscribe. Tell your friends all about it. Check me out on Patreon at WhiteyTW Guy. Good journey. Good journey.